Next, I want to show staff how to create a gradebook that has weighted categories. In this instance, teachers of music might have a percentage for participation and a percentage of the grade for maybe concerts, or maybe for an exam that they have, a proficiency exam. So they want to have percentages. For me, it's categories in Spanish 4 like test, daily assignments, participation, compositions, presentations. So there's a definite percentage. For me, it's 10% on an exam, um, for each and every exam. And so it's easy to see the categories then also when parents and guardians and students are viewing this. So I'll just log into campus and I'll click under instruction where we'll find assignments again, and just make sure that you're again in the right section that you want to make the changes to. For me, it's in Spanish 1, and I'll click on assignments, and now I want to go to edit categories. This is where we're going to start making categories. Now, whether you weight grades or not, it is recommended that everybody create a category called points. Here, if you're using a weighted scale, you would want to call 1 tests, and I want 30% of my percentage. I want 30% of my grade to be based on tests. You can decide which you see first or last by playing with the sequence. You can exclude the category from the calculation if you'd like. You can drop a lowest score. So if I'm going to have 8 tests, and I tell students up front, I'm going to drop your lowest first. I'm going to drop your lowest score, just so you know up front, this is somewhere where you could mark that. Now, I'm currently in section 7501-1. I have to choose 7501. I'm going to choose the grading task of grade, because that's where I want students to see that category. And if I also know that there are other sections that I want to have the same weighted scores, I will choose by clicking on these. It's like a mass assign, so you can easily decide which of your other sections you want. So you would just save the category, and now if I have 30% in tests, I'll add another category. Since we already have tests, we'll call the next one participation. Participation's worth 15%. And I know that I want that in the same section, 7501, and I want it to reflect in BHS grade. Save the category. Now when you go back to your categories, you should see participation and tests, and here's your percentage. You would of course make them add up to 100, and the categories are of course gonna vary by content. When you are finished with your creation of categories, in my instance I would have another 55%. I currently have 45. I would assign 55 to other things beyond tests and participation. And now I'm going to go back to assignments, and I'm going to create my first assignment. So I'll create an assignment, and I will give it a name. Maybe I want to call it Chapter 1 Packet C1P. I'll give it an abbreviation. If there was a specific target or a test strand that I was aiming for on this, I can choose many. The show description objectives and reference field is something that can be hidden and also shown. So you can add a description if you wanted to have a nice rich description. You could also add like a link in here if you wanted to share that link with a parent or guardian or student. You could share your objectives from your lesson plans and any references to any other resources that you're using in class. If you don't want to choose to add all that information, you can just hide it. I know that my assignment is being added into section 7501. Again, I can add the same assignment to other sections quickly. I choose to have this in grade. If I wanted it to be in a test instead of a participation, this is when I would make that. I would, of course, if it was a chapter 1 packet, I would want to have a category called homework. I can change the amount of points down here, just make it 30. And if I knew that this was like a final test, I could have a multiplier of 2 to make it weighted more so it's worth twice the normal exam. I'll just change mine to 1. When I'm done, I'll just save it, and you would go back to your gradebook, and now your assignment should be waiting for you to be scored. And if you know that most of the people in your section got 30 out of 30, you can still override all your scores with the total possible. And if you know that Luke turned his in and he only got 29, of course you could make that change as well. One of the differences that we're seeing this year, unfortunately, is that you can no longer currently right-click on an assignment to create a new assignment. That was always easy in the gradebook, where you could create an assignment within the gradebook and just keep filling it in. Currently now, let me just save this. I would save my work, and I would actually have to go back to the tab called Assignments. It feels like a little bit more of an extra step. And you would just click on Create Assignment again, fill out the information, and then add it that way. So the gradebook still looks the same. It's how you add the assignments that's a little bit different. So that's how you, in assignments, add categories like homework and participation and tests. It's all listed in assignments. You can do things like edit categories and create assignments. Good luck.